What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Ahmed in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Al, Albert, Anna, Andy, Bill. Good morning to Cindy. We got Frank in the house. Good morning to Georgia. We got Justin, Kevin, Lauren, Lou, Lucian, Lydia. Good morning to Marius, Martina, Michael. You guys are so mad. We got Rock. Good morning to you. Good morning to Tim. Good morning to Wendy, William, all my people out YouTube land. Mustafa, I think you do have it first today. Mustafa was there. Good morning to Clarice. Good morning to all my lurkers, that background on YouTube. That's just not gonna say anything. It's okay. I still love you. But hit that like and subscribe buttons. Zachariah's in the house. Good morning to you as well. But big day. Big day today. So, and the fun doesn't even stop at the bell. Uh-uh. We'll see how today wants to play out. Here's the SPY on a weekly basis. Candle is still open. Weekly chart is still telling us that I mean we had a little bit of an uptrend. We broke the uptrend. We're sitting kind of right into the resistance on close. As of right now, almost bullish engulfing candle, but we got today, tomorrow, Friday to really finish up this candle for the weekly. But you have a market that just looks like it just wants to buy everything. Maybe not quite tweezer tops, very close to it. But how this candle looks at the end of the week, I do think would heavily be well, that's the monthly, but would really depend on how this day goes. So you got Jerome Powell. He should be releasing his rate cut decision somewhere around 2 o'clock. Then you get into the pre-written Jerome Powell speech, and then you get the question and answers. So lots of volatility starting probably from 2 o'clock to maybe the end of the day, and then even after Jerome Powell, you have all of you got Tesla, Meta, Microsoft. You got ASML. I think you got TMUS all reporting earnings, a bunch more reporting earnings today. So just absolutely massive move for the markets. And we'll see. And then not only that, they don't let you breathe for too long. You got Apple earnings coming in tomorrow. So that will kind of be the potential nail in the coffin for one direction or the other. But we'll see. But still above all the moving averages. So nice little bounce, perfect bounce yesterday. Right where we said there was some supports, went around this 597.47 zone. Haven't quite closed this gap yet, but we are into this heavy resistance. The top of yesterday got us right into the VPOC from this day on December 18th. This is the last Jerome Powell day. So, interestingly enough, we are about to right where we were the last time Jerome Powell came out to kill the markets. He's getting the perfect pitch to do the same thing if he chooses to do it. Do we get dovish or hawkish Jerome Powell? I don't know what's changed from this sentiment to this one. I don't know that he comes in and he's all dovish today. So I would be expecting, well, we'll see, but I'm expecting probably maybe a little bit of a more pressure onto the markets from Jerome, and then who the heck knows what these earnings are going to do for today. We'll have to wait and find out. But for today, look for the resistance that we put in yesterday, somewhere around 604.54. You do have some support immediately coming down, so buy the dipper is probably going to be looking at 602.52. If that starts to break, you have another one, 601.34. If you end up breaking higher than that resistance, we could take a stab at like 607.40 today. 607.40 and then 607.90, and then you got your high point to get there. I mean, it's either we have a strong double top at 609.58 or we're looking for all-time highs. So it's either today is the day where I think the market starts to either get that big pullback, or we have all-time highs in the sights once again for this just unbelievably bullish market. Lucian says, looks like the markets are waiting for Powell. Yeah, that makes sense. And again, that could cause a little chop in the beginning. We'll see if there's some individual names. I see some tickers coming in already, but Clarice says president changed. Yeah, but president changed. Yeah, good point. So from this date until this one, this is the first time we hear from Jerome Powell since Trump's been elected. However, what he has said he was going to do, he was already president-elect at this point, right? So this is December 18th. So we knew it was going to be Trump, and this is where he kind of started coming out a little bit to the hawkish side. We might not be raising rates as much. We're going to probably higher for longer is kind of back in the picture. So nothing has really changed. And then so far, Trump has been just, we still have tariff talks. We don't know how that plays out. I don't know if Jerome Powell really knows how. I think Jerome Powell is probably going to be a little bit more reactionary off of what actually happens. But we haven't seen the full. We've only had Trump in office for what is it? I don't even know, a week now, 10 days, something like that. So, yes, we do have a new president under when Jerome Powell speaks, but everything was foreshadowed from the election. He already kind of knew the information as to where Trump was leaning. I don't think Trump has had any major shifts since he's been putting out information. So, yes and no, I would say. But we'll see. We'll see which way he wants to go with it. Qs have a good support. So a little bit of a gap up, 521.37. And you have a resistance, which we did hit yesterday, 522.60. A little bit more likely that breaks. And then you got upside to like 523.84, maybe into this 524.89. I think we need Jerome Powell's blessing to probably break this one. If he's all good and dovish, I'd be looking for like 529.30. Otherwise, if that support breaks down somewhere around this 521.50 zone, you do have a bunch of supports right below us, 521.01. So pretty decent support levels kind of built in below us. And then 517.31. Inside day, it is a little bit of retest. I think you probably get some kind of an initial pullback that might be happening now pre-market into this 521.54 zone. So watch that. See if you get a small pullback. See how we want to hold that. Otherwise, high wave candle on the Qs will probably tell us a lot for at least the first hour and a half, and then we maybe calm down a little bit. All right, let me see. We got some tickers coming in. We got Baba. Baba, keep in mind, DeepSeek is like I told people I was like, I think I said it on the day DeepSeek was mattering 2 days ago. I was like, this is gonna be a story until it's not, and then that's it. But so DeepSeek was the big news. How DeepSeek was just more efficient, saving some building this out for a lot cheaper. I think also, and that kind of came out before, but I saw the article yesterday too, or this morning, where DeepSeek they pretty much just copied. They used Chat GPT in our systems to create their model. So now you have like, well, is there any intellectual property theft that's happening? And again, it's China, so I don't know if it matters as much. But now Baba comes out and they say that they have a model that's even better and more efficient and cheaper than DeepSeek. So DeepSeek right under the bus with this one, but everyone's kind of reacting to this news. You did start to see it come in. I think the guy from I always forget the movie. What's the guy's name from the housing crash? The guy that shorted it. But I think he was also on CNBC. He was pretty bullish on some of his comments on Baba. He's like, yeah, I think this thing is like easy 3x, and then probably has some more room to run. But he was pumping it, and then you have this news kind of coming out that which Baba has been in the AI game for a while. It's not like they haven't been developing AI. The timing of the report, very suspicious. Just right after DeepSeek, and now we just one-upped them. But Baba, good news, good gap on this one. This is a retest into some kind of resistance. I don't know that I'd be buying up here. And you guys know I'm pretty bullish on Baba. I've got a decent position on Baba. But I do think this one probably fades lower today. You do have yesterday's VPOC at the low end of yesterday, so somewhere around $90.58. Do we make it all the way back there? I don't know, but if it does, that's probably your decent attempt to buy. Otherwise, I think you have some support at 95.63. We'll see how that one wants to hold, and then I think halfway even through yesterday's candle takes me right into this VPOC from December 9th, so 93.74, also a decent opportunity to get in. Valuation, I still think it's cheap. I think for day trade purpose, I don't know if I'd be buying here. Resistance should come in somewhere around $100.27. If you could break that, maybe you got room to 103.38, and then you do have a small little gap fill back at like 108.83 if this thing actually wants to go crazy, but retest gap, lots of buying before even yesterday came in, and then China's China. Still hasn't fundamentally changed, and we'll see if the sell the rip or play the fade wants to come in. I was in a swing trade with Yates as well, and I would hit targets toward the highs of yesterday. So I'm out of the swing, but I still have the long term position. So full disclosure, but ASML, they do have earnings. Oh, was there earnings this morning? Ah, they had earnings this morning. I thought they were after the bell as well. So they beat by 1.45% earnings per share, and then they also beat by revenue 115 million higher than expected. Bit of a gap and go. I think some bulls were obviously trapped on this one. They're getting their second chance to maybe get out of this one. I love the fact that we're opening above 718.31 though. So I would expect a pullback on this one, retracement. I don't think this gap fills. I'm not sure when this gap fills. This is also now island reversal to the bull side of things. Sentiment could be changing. You were at a pretty good support on a daily chart. So reason enough for some of these bulls to buy in. If they did, they're profitable. Maybe want to take some of those gains. And I think you have second chance for anybody that's was like, man, I am down. If you almost top tick this 778.27, you're down almost $100 a share. At some point, you were down 100, so you're losing less. And I do think that resistance probably holds. But watch at least this level, somewhere around 719. That might be your spot. So I think probably a little chop fest first. You do have some moving averages coming on this one, but we will get this one higher on the list too. We'll just kind of see how this one plays out. Um, if this gap was even more incredible, like anywhere above 777.50, then everybody's profitable, and I think you just kind of run it up. But probably a little chop on that one. Apple reports earnings tomorrow. You got the bulls creeping on in right at that 200 EMA level. So good spot. Good follow through. This is now up from January 22nd. Lows of the day, 219.86. This one climbed all the way to 240. Did not take much time for us to get there. Really good close yesterday. So I would think that the bulls are still there. Do they want to readjust before Jerome Powell and before earnings tomorrow? I'm not sure. I don't think I'd be buying it here unless you're just massively bullish on Apple. Keep in mind for Apple earnings, the company in general, it's not really a growth company anymore. It's like it's not really it's more a valuation type play. Um, I don't know. I don't know how those earnings are going to play out. Again, I don't think the growth is going to be spectacular, but maybe they start stepping. Maybe they got a better system than Baba has now for AI. Everyone just they'll pay you to start using AI. I guess I don't know what the next step is. We just keep lowering the pricing on everything. But if you get some kind of pullback, I think it's a healthy pullback, 233.77. That roughly takes me to the 618 of yesterday. If that starts to break, and that's what I'll be watching there. But if you get back down to like 231.29, I think you got good risk reward on the trade. And if you're bullish through earnings, you don't mind holding through earnings, then fantastic. But obviously, that bullish sentiment starting to creep right back in. But I'm not going to be buying unless we get that pullback on Apple. Tesla, I don't want to go short on Apple. It's still, I think you got some bulls trying to buy that dip as well. Um, Tesla earnings after the bell. Currently in a TTM squeeze. We just talked about this in the option group yesterday. Not Tesla specifically, but the only other big thing is some data. I don't know how good the earnings are going to be. I mean, keep in mind the last time we had earnings on Tesla, this is gonna be like if there was no earnings today, this thing looks kind of bullish based on the squeeze. But the last time we actually had earnings, don't forget we were at 215. We're up almost 100%. We were past 100% at one point. So where are we at? 90% higher than the last earnings. Last earnings were good. Earnings per share wise, they did still miss on revenue. So you can't. I don't think at these levels you can really get that. I don't think you can get away with missing on revenue. So be careful on this one. I don't know that the market knows what to do. You are in a squeeze. That typically also tells me that we're probably going to be chopping. We don't necessarily have to break the squeeze today. And then with between Jerome Powell and um, the actual Tesla earnings coming out today, I think the market might be waiting. Otherwise, momentum starting to come in, squeeze. I kind of like this location. I think if you open up somewhere anywhere above 396.20. You have a little bit of sentiment where you might get some bulls to buy it up to like 406.54, and then maybe a little bit further back in like this 407.43. But I wouldn't be surprised that we're kind of just hanging out at this level before or right before the bell closes today. So could be a little bit more choppy. LOGI. What is that? LL or LI? Welcome. Saying you're new here. Levi says, thank you. Just look up. And just look up the Jerome Powell announcement. Yeah, Jerome Powell. Well, so first you got the report coming out at 2, and then he usually talks at 2:30. Probably about 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere from the opening speech he gives to finally answering or finishing answering questions. Logitech had some earnings that is up 13.86% higher than earnings per share, and then you got reported revenue beat by $80 million. So not bad report on this one. Again, lots of buying into this. Last 1, 2, 3, 4 days even. Minus this one, I guess, but roughly 4 days. Essentially more than a week. So back to like January 13th, they've been buying this one up. So I think you do have some profitable bulls at this point. Little tiny resistance, nothing too crazy. Pullback to me would be like $95 in that range. Really good gap. Again, not one that I probably want to short. Or if I do short, I'm probably only hanging in this thing for about a 1.2. That's it. Where's that gap fill? If we pull back into like this 95.16, that takes us right into that volume zone we just looked at. So somewhere around here would be yeah, 95.07. Somewhere right around here would be a decent pullback spot. Let some of those bulls maybe take some gains. If they want to open this thing and just absolutely run it up, they're going without me on this one. It is it's a little too high of a gap for me. Um, I think to play it immediately bullish does not mean I'm not going to play this one later in the day. In fact, let's add this one to the list. I don't know how this one's never made the list before. That's astonishing. Oh, it is on the list somewhere. They're telling me. LOGI. Hold on. There it is. I knew it had to be here somewhere. All right, let's get this one up higher as well. And then we'll take a look at Starbucks. Starbucks had a good report too. I know they were up after hours. Didn't check them this morning. SBUX. And then DJT could be a fun one too. We'll pull that one up next, and then we'll head back to the tickers. Uh, yeah, good gap on this one. Again, they've been buying this thing. This is what concerns me in this. They've been buying this thing since '86. I'm paying more than 10% higher than if I just would have established a position a few weeks back. But really good gap. One to watch. You probably have some more room on this. All that volume is on the tail end at this point. Probably the next resistance comes in somewhere close to this 102.09, 102.10 zone. If you can break through that, your next spot probably up to like 104.19. So we'll have to see on this one. I would like to see a pullback. I don't think it has to retest fully yesterday's candle, somewhere around $100.11. But any retest into like this 101.97, I think we start getting some decent risk reward on it. So there might be a play, but again, watch this market open and just run with everything. And I'm like, no, stop it. But at the same time, if I buy it anywhere else, my I'm psychologically going to be messed up in the head. Like, did I just do that too high? Am I getting the FOMO? So let's avoid FOMO and let's see if some of these things come in. Some really good looking gaps. So here's another one. Earnings on NXT. They beat by 77% earnings per share. Pretty phenomenal. 33 million. Surprise on the revenue side of things. Um, this one might be a little bit more gap and go where I'd be kind of curious. I don't know what the volume is going to be on this one, but at least you haven't had recent buying. You've actually had some recent selling on this one into earnings. So probably a little bit more of a surprise. Went from you're up pretty massively, $10 on this one. So that I don't like. I don't think this one has a big short squeeze. Short float about 8%, so not bad. You might get some continuation. You might have some shorts being trapped. High wave it. See if the bottom of that high wave comes down to like 49.21, and then maybe we could take a break. We do have room all the way up to 53.04, so that's good room. We're gonna have a little resistance first at like $50.99, essentially $51. Yeah. Uh, at least it's not a retrace gap. So I might be a little quicker to make a move on this one at open. Let's see, AVGO, Nvidia. Let's check DJT real quick too. So DJT, I don't know what's going to happen with this one, but I think there was some news earlier that just broke not too long ago, probably about an hour ago, something like that, right around 8:30. So Trump media is getting into finance, probably a little bit more related to the crypto space in terms of what they actually do. I tried to pick this thing up. I had an order out for pre-market at 32, didn't pull back. Whatever I got filled there, not 32.62. But right now, decent little S curve on it. We'll see where this one wants to go if that news starts to circulate a little bit more. You are at resistance on this thing. Otherwise, inside day candle, technically a retest, but that candle's inside of this probable gap and go. Targets, I think get up to like 35.30. We probably went there pre-market, so we'll see if this one could get some more momentum out of it. But interesting little news, and anything Trump related, aka even Trump meme coin will go crazy anytime there's news. So definitely momentum in those type of stocks. AVGO chilling, hanging out. It is a small gap and go from yesterday, still inside candle of yesterday, and more importantly, the day before. I don't know how much momentum this one's gonna have. You did hit the retest spot from yesterday. I'd like if I was to take a stab at this one, I'd see if you get a pullback to like 204.13 to the higher side. You got your 50 EMA sitting around 212.05. Top of that is 213.21. Next resistance would take you back to the high of the candle, 218.23. And that's a spot we've retested. So I think if you get up there, you have the ability to break, but not a whole lot of edge on this one for today. So I think there's probably at least better opportunities unless this one does drop. Give me like this 204.40 zone, 204.50, somewhere around there. Then I think I at least get it slightly cheaper. Nvidia, yeah, let's see what this weekly candle looks like. Good bounce off the 50 on the weekly. Kind of again, we're still in that breakdown mode. But those bulls just came in rapidly yesterday. They didn't let this in. We had a little bit of a bear trap, slightly getting under the previous day candle. Right now at least we are looking a little bit more short than long. Depends on where this thing opens, but resistance is 126.75. If we could start to get above it, maybe there's a chance for at least high of the day from yesterday to 129.09. That's again, we've been there already. That was a previous resistance. I got one more spot. Would take me to like 131.91. So yeah, about 131. Let's see if we've hit that one pre-market. Where did we get to? Yeah, we got to like 130 after hours, roughly about 130. Got some of those moving averages just hanging out. Retail favorite. I think the buy the dippers are around, but at this level, I think you probably get some selling pressure at 126.76, especially if you were able to ride this thing from the lows. Seeing if this thing could wake up today with a gap up, kind of disappointing if it didn't. But watch that 126 85 zone. That should be resistance. We start getting above it. Look for the retest into that, and then I think that would be your bull play if you're trying it. Otherwise, maybe stop high of the day, so 129.27, somewhere around there, and try to get as close to a short side 126.75 if you want to take this thing short. I don't know what we're gonna do before Jerome Powell in this one. Good move off that 200 though. So some saving grace. You kind of have your candle in here from 2 days ago, actually from even yesterday. If this candle breaks down 116, that's when you get your bigger sell, which you could potentially see all the way back to $100. But it's tough for Nvidia to sell. ever. Like ever. We'll see. All right, let's see what else we got ticker wise. Which ones did I miss? Rock was trying to get into DJT, 3150. Yeah, I had 32. You would have got a better fill, but we ended up in the same scenario, I guess. All right. Oracle, TEM. Yeah. We both had the same idea though, which is fun. We got Oracle is still inside day from yesterday, and again, the previous candle is still a little bit more dominant in this one. Again, just like Nvidia, you held that 200. So we're hanging on until the rest of the market decides. So this is probably not a bad buy the dip spot, and I'm gonna say that very cautiously because I'm not doing it myself. That's crazy. Why would anybody buy this dip? Um, just kidding. But you have decent, like good balance off of yesterday's VPOC. We held it 157.65. In terms of risk to reward, you're there. This candle got right into that previous retest. We closed this gap. You have the island reversal, which is usually a pretty bearish sign. However, um, I don't know that this gap is going to easily fill, right? You have a lot of room, and if your stop is like, if you were able to get in here yesterday, or maybe you break yesterday or yesterday's VPOC, we come back, we retest it, you still have decent risk to reward to close the gap if we're going to do it. I don't like this at all, right? But I think a lot of the sentiment going forward, I think you probably have a chop day on Oracle. I think we almost need, and this is probably going to go for a lot of things in the market, but I think we need to get through today, possibly tomorrow after the bell with Apple. But I think Apple will be like, man, if we can survive today and then Apple comes in not as bad, I think we have the sentiment kind of leaning back to the bulls where they just want to buy everything. And then I would think that this one could be a decent, maybe we fill this gap with great risk reward. If you're in this one now, or you're trying to get in this one to go long, and we don't survive today, where it's the Jerome Powell is negative, you get the extra weight of the market. I think that this candle can break down and you have a decent amount of room to the downside. So I'm cautious on some of these inside candles where the overall stock has those island reversals and you just have some negative news coming in. Now you got Baba throwing their hat into the ring too for uh, even better than DeepSeek and all this craziness. So we'll see how this plays out. I think it will take some time for really Nvidia to really capture the narrative again, which would also then play into Oracle and everything bullish everywhere. But that is the morning bell. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons on YouTube if you have not done so already. Godspeed. Godspeed. It's going to be a wild one. It's going to be a wild one. You guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.